welcome to my channel. My name is Kiana, and today I will be just going into detail about
So this is part 2. Stay tuned while I explain the surgery and recovery part.
You can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get gone.
Like in 2 weeks, I can literally have my life changed. So I said yes as soon as possible. I'm willing to do whatever, drop everything at work, and did the correct, the necessary paperwork, got my approval from work to be offered the surgery. Everything was in place. At this point, I was just YouTubing videos to try to figure out what I was getting myself into. So that's that part. So now the actual day of surgery. So I went in for my pre-op appointment on the 12th. And basically at the pre-op appointment, they told me, what to bring, what not to wear, what not to eat. They gave me medication. They gave me wipes and things of that sort. So my instructions when I was done with my consultation were I couldn't eat past midnight. No food, no water, no gum, no ice, nothing. After 12 o'clock, could not eat. That was that. My appointment for my surgery was at 9 o'clock the following day. I'm a breakfast person, so by 11 o'clock, I'm getting a headache if I haven't ate. And I was just miserable the following morning. So I couldn't eat. My husband taking me to the doctor. He's getting breakfast, smooth, smelling real good. I'm just like, what did I get myself into? So I couldn't eat. That was number one. And then 2, I had to, like I said, I got wipes to take care of, to get my body disinfected. I couldn't wear any lotion, couldn't wear, like I could put on deodorant the night before, but not the day of. Your nails are fine. I know sometimes, or I have heard that some doctors require you to remove your nails, but these are acrylic and I was able to keep them on. So I had to wipe myself. So the night before, she gave me 6 wipes and their instructions on how to wipe from like the shoulder to your fingertips, to wipe underneath your arms, to wipe, everywhere, to make sure that you got what you needed done. So once I got finished with that night, like I said, I woke up the next morning. Me and my husband, we had everything. What I would highly suggest is to make sure that you bring a pillow. I had the neck pillow that you wear, that you go on an airplane. One, I had that to pull the seat belt away from me, and I saw that from a girl on YouTube, and I was like, that was brilliant. So I bought that, and I kind of sandwiched that in between me and the seat belt to protect my boobs on the ride back. I had a pillow on the back to kind of prop my back up, and I think that was it. I didn't stay the night at the hospital, but that was all that they told me to do. My hair at the time, preparation, I suggest braids because your recovery time is going to be a while and you're not going to be able to look like this. So I would suggest braids or your natural hair, whichever is easier for you. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything from my pre-op. I couldn't eat. I had to use the specialty wipes that they gave me, and to take my medication, like to take a pill to kind of ease the anxiety the night before, is what I just did. So then, fast forward, I arrived to the hospital on December 13th. I get to the hospital. Of course, they check you in, you verify your insurance, your identity. They walk me to the correct surgery, deemed spot. And then I was just at that point getting checked in, getting my weight done. They were drawing blood. They were, blood. They were doing a lot of things to me. So after they did all of that, I switched my clothes into the surgical gown. I had my hair up into like the little hospital bonnet that they gave you. They gave me compression socks. And at that point, I was just in the hospital bed and I was praying with my husband. I have pictures and little videos that will be inserted in, by clips that will be inserted in, by the way. So I did that part. And at this point, I'm waiting for the doctor to arrive to just take me back in the room. So it's December. It's like in the midst of Christmas. I'm just like, please, God, don't let nothing go wrong. Like, you know, praying, like I said, talking to my family, letting everyone know this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. Pray for me, and I'll text you all when I'm done. So this wasn't like my first type of surgery where I was like panicking or anything. I literally had a surgery in September for my reproductive system that will be discussed in a completely different video. For my ladies who are struggling with infertility, I get it. But nevertheless, my doctor came, he started drawing on me, he started, you know, getting his thoughts together, processing what he was about to do, and he asked me if I was ready. I said yes. And then, of course, the doctors kept verifying who I was, what I was there for. They asked me that about 5 to 10 times. But after all of that was done, they just pushed me out. I kissed my husband, gave him my things, and went into surgery. So literally, I remember going to the back. They were rolling me. Of course, I spoke to the anesthesiologist, who was telling me that he was about to give me the good stuff. So they went ahead and put the medication into the IV. I felt a little drowsy, and this was on the ride back to into the surgery room. Once I got to the back, they transferred me from like the little regular rolling, I don't even know what the correct terminology is, but from they rolled me in the back on whatever that thing is called and transferred me to the actual surgical station that was going to be there. So I kind of slided off onto it. They had me all oxygened up, and then all I remember was listening to Mariah Carey, her Christmas song, and they put the mask on my face, and I was like, do I need to count down? He was like, you can if you want to, but you're probably about to be knocked out at any time. I do remember that part. And I closed my eyes, and then I remember waking up to this most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. I woke up screaming because, like I said, my chest was an F cup. So my sensitivity in my nipples, I've never had that. I've never had that kind of sensitivity. When I woke up, my nipples were on fire. I screamed so loud. 3 nurses came out, and they were making sure I was okay, of course. And then what I told them was, I can feel this. Like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to feel this, but I can feel this pain. So they gave me 2 Percocets to take. Girl, I didn't feel nothing after that. So they gave me that. I took the Percocets. I was more calm. My husband was brought in. They asked me how I was feeling. I woke up and I was bandaged up. Oh, what I wore. This is what I would suggest. I wore pajamas. And then I wore the kind that kind of had like the bottom and the top, but the top had like buttons, so that when they were putting my clothes back on me, I didn't have to worry about lifting my arms or putting something over my head. It was just as simple as just putting my arms in and buttoning up the shirt. That's what I did. That's a helpful tip that you can take into consideration. So after all of that happened, and I was able to show that I was able to use the bathroom, they're not going to let you go unless you can pee. Let me tell you that. She made that very clear to me, that I could potentially stay the night if I don't, you know, use the restroom on my own before I left. So I had to use the restroom on my own, and then they gave me crackers and a ginger ale. I reacted well with the anesthesia. I wasn't like nauseous or anything. I didn't have any issues. The only thing that you're probably going to experience or for me that I experienced, was they put in the tube down your throat, and when they're pulling it out, it can kind of scratch the back of your throat, which will cause you to kind of have like this itchiness, this cough, this dry cough. That's all that I had as far as like from the anesthesia. I didn't have anything else. My husband walked into the bathroom, then I was discharged. We got in the car, I drove home, well, he drove us home, and I was in about to sleep. Of course, I told my family that I was done, everything went well. The doctor said everything went well, and then I had my follow-up appointment a week later. So, recovery. Or maybe I should discuss my size. So, like I said, initially I was an F cup. I went from an F to a C cup. So this is the size that I am now. This is what I am now. And I do not have a bra on. I enjoy that part of everything from my surgery. It was literally the best thing that I could have ever done. I do not have a bra on. And as you can see, my chests are perky. They're not too big. They're literally the correct size. They're even, which was my main concern. And this is, I had the surgery, like I said, in December. We're now in February, so I'm 2 months post-op. So yeah, I went from an F to a C, and my nipple placement is correct. Now, one of the things that I was worried about was breastfeeding, my nipple sensitivity, and things of that sort. Like I said, when I woke up, I screamed, so I knew that I felt my nipples. So that wasn't a worry of mine. Some people will lose their sensitivity. Some people, it will get heightened like mine, and some people, it'll stay the same. How he explained breastfeeding or like, you know, the reproduction of milk is, because I don't have kids, there's no real way to know if that's going, like my reduction is going to affect anything. He has nothing to compare it to. So who's to say that I was even able to have, or who's to say that I was able to breastfeed in the beginning anyway? So he told me that I kind of have to see what happens. And I'm okay with that. I don't think my mom breastfed me, and I'm completely fine. Those are just my personal values, opinions. I mean, I would like to, because I know the benefits of it, but if it didn't happen, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Outside of that, like I said, my nipple placement was correct. The size was perfect, and they had me in the surgical bra. The bra is zipped in the front, and then of course you put it on from the back. I think I threw it away because it does get pretty nasty. Now, some of the videos you may see, you'll notice the girls talk about drains. My doctor did not give me any drains. He said that how technology has advanced, that's not necessary anymore. So however he was taught to do the procedure, or how he has changed his technique, it didn't require me to have drains, so I didn't have that part of something rubbing in the side. So he also did lipo on the sides to kind of make sure that my body went back to normal. So he sucked some out of the side boob that I had, and I think that was it. So as far as recovery, they give you a surgical bra. You don't, well, as far as TRICARE, I didn't have to pay for the bra. It was included with me getting the surgery. And it was just one. I didn't get to choose the color. It was white. It didn't really bother me. I had that on when I left the hospital, and they put like the gauze to catch the blood, and I had the Durabond to close the incisions, and that was just that. So from there, like I said, I had to wait a week for my my post-op appointment. I went in, he checked everything, said everything was healing fine. My breasts were really hard at first, really hard at first. Eventually the hardness went away. It wasn't as hard, but at first it was very hard. My nipples, I had this horrible sting, like a burning sensation is the best way that I can describe it. it was like a burning sensation around my nipples because my nipples, of course, were cut. So how he did my incision, let me show you. So this is the breast. So there are several different ways that you can do the incision, but this is how mine went. So he went around the nipple, down and under the boob. So it's called the anchor, I think. Anchor incision, something like that. He did around my nipple again, did this, and then cut here. So where my boob would fall before, where my boob was like down to here, he basically took the middle portion out, closed the outside part, pushed my nipple up, and that's how he conformed or made my new boob. So that's how that went. So he did that, and like I said, I am now a C cup. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything or anything that you all may want to know or should know. At my post-op, like I said, he said everything was healing perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues. Like I said, I didn't have drains, so he didn't have to take anything out. It was a very, like I said, easy process, more than what I thought. It was easier than what I thought it would be. As far as the pain, everyone's pain tolerance is completely different. I guess in that situation, maybe mine was high because literally after I had my surgery was on the 13th. My cousin had a baby shower on the 16th. I was at the baby shower and I was an active part of the baby shower. I helped her decorate. I was on the floor crawling. I was doing everything but the right thing. And every once in a while I would stop and be like, oh my God, I feel aches, I feel sore or whatever. But it really wasn't a horrible pain. The relief from not having big boobs just superseded the pain. Like you just feel like an immediate, like if you have big boobs, you know you're hunched over like this. Immediately I feel my body, my posture just change, and now I can sit up straight. I don't have horrible posture anymore. So I was at the baby shower doing X, Y, and Z, being real reckless with it. And everything was fine. I didn't really feel anything. Of course, I was on medication too. So the medication that they gave me naproxen for inflammation. They gave me hydrocodone, something like that. Don't quote me. For like the pain. It was a narcotic. And then I had promethazine for nausea, but I didn't really use the promethazine. Well, I used it only because it helped me sleep. That's the hard part, sleeping. So after recovery, I'll show you. Give me a second. This pillow was my best friend. It's the pillow that goes like this. That pillow was my best friend because it propped me up. It's like a chair. It propped me up where I was sitting up, but it was soft enough where I can kind of lay my head any kind of way to kind of go to sleep. So the promethazine, I didn't take it for nausea. I took it so that it can kind of sedate me and put me to sleep, is what I did. I'm not a doctor, not encouraging it, just saying that's what I did for me. Because I didn't want to get hooked on like the opioid, so I really didn't want to take it consistently. So if I can just excuse taking that and sleep all day, then that's okay with me. So I did that, and then I slept with the neck pillow. Like I said, the airplane pillow, that helped. And then a heating pad helps. Because like I said, like you feel so sore, and like I had lipo on the sides, so I had horrible bruising, and it's still kind of bruised. At the end of the video, I'll show you like what my scar looks like now compared to what it looks like or what it looked like in the beginning. Sleeping, that's covered. Itching, sis, you will be itching for days. And it still happens. It's not anything that's timed. It's not anything that's consistent. You may go a day without itching, wake up the next day itching. I still itch because everything is healing. Everything is growing, connecting. Your blood supply is coming back together. All of that is happening. You can't see it, but it's happening. And the healing part, you are going to feel that. It is severe itching. Like, you know how you get your, for my melanin girls, you know how when you get your hair braided or when you have a sew-in and you cannot get to your scalp and you feel that itch and you take a comb and you digging in your head like this? That's the kind of itch you're going to have, and you cannot control it. It ain't nothing that you can do. The only thing that I was prescribed was hydroxine, and it's nothing that primarily fixes the itch. It kind of offsets all your other symptoms, if I can. This is probably not making sense. So it really didn't stop my itching. I still itch and I still take the medicine, but the medicine more so puts you in a drowsy state. It's almost like Benadryl. It puts you in a drowsy state where you don't really feel it because you're too busy trying to fall asleep. So that's basically everything that I was given. I didn't have any complications. I didn't have to go back for a second surgery. I didn't have any issues or any major issues. The only thing that I was kind of concerned about was, like I said, I'm a Black girl, so I wanted to make sure that my scars wasn't going to change or be really, you know, prominent where people can kind of see it. You know, like I wanted to make sure that it was kind of still concealed. So I'm going to show you my scars now and insert some pictures. And if you all, like I said, have any questions, wanted to know who my doctor was, if you're in the same area, anything of that sort, feel free to inbox me. My social media will be in the description box. You can DM me on Instagram. You can send me an email. You can DM me on Snapchat, Facebook, whatever. And I'll respond back. I promise. I'm not that big-headed where I can't tell nobody what to expect, or if you all have questions, help you all out. So this is what my scar looks like now. I'm trying my best not to, you know, expose too much to you. So this is my scar, and it goes all the way right here. And like I said, this is where the lipo happened, and this is where I still have like that big bruise. So it's not completely gone down, but this is still the scar and how it comes around. But ultimately it's, I'm gonna try to cover my boob. But ultimately you can't see it because it's under your boob. But around, and this is where he cut down. So this is what it looks like now. This is what the final product, whoops, sorry. This is what the final product is now and what my boobs look like. I literally told him I wanted porn star boobs. So this is what it looks like and how my scar is in the middle. Like I said, you really cannot tell what the scar is or how it is, just primarily because it's underneath your boob, and unless you lift it, that's how you'll see it. But over time, it will, you know, disappear. I'll show you what I use to kind of stop the, like to help with the scarring. I'll show you what I use. Give me 1 second. Sorry, back. Had to go downstairs and get it. It was on my computer desk downstairs because I just came back from a trip. I went to the Bahamas, so my stuff is still packed. But this is what I use. As you can see, it's almost gone, but it's trying to get it focused in. Not sure if y'all can see what it says, but it's bio oil. This is really good. my scars. As soon as I started using this on my scars, once I got cleared by my doctor, I couldn't use this for like a month. So for a month, I wasn't using anything until I got cleared, because he wanted to make sure my incisions were closed. And then I got approved to be able to use this. So I rubbed that on my boobs and give myself like a little, I'm out of breath for some reason. I gotta lose some weight for real though. I massage it on my boobs and let it sit. Don't really pay it anymore. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't smell. Doesn't have like a heavy fragrance. So yeah, it's not gonna do anything. The only thing that I would suggest is that you do it within enough time so that if you are going somewhere, the oil doesn't kind of, you know, leave like an outprint or something like that on your clothing. But my next appointment is in March, and that will be my final appointment. Because I can't really do like a year post-op and keep going out. I am leaving the area very soon. And you all will see that, but I am leaving the area pretty soon, so I can't keep going back for post-ops. But where I'm going, if I have any issues, I'm pretty sure I can find a doctor that will be able to evaluate my breast. But like I said, I haven't had any issues or anything like that. But that's it. If you all have, again, any other questions, concerns, want my doctor's information, interested in having any kind of questions, you can reach out to me, and like I said, I will respond to you. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, guys, bye.